Hey friends, what's up? This is Metro and welcome to a live patch reaction. I've heard of a lot of things. I didn't realize this was going to be true, but it's out and we're going to go through it together right now. I have a lot of thoughts, but let's go over the entire post and I'll give you my analysis after. This is going to change the game drastically. The map has been completely reworked, okay? It looks completely different. Mid-boss is gone. There's 3 lanes, but let's go over the changes one by one. Today's update introduces a reworked map layout alongside a variety of improvements and bug fixes. They're calling this a major patch, by the way. Soul orbs. Troopers no longer need to be lasted by a player in order to generate souls, as long as you are nearby. Troopers no longer have the near-death flashing behavior. First impressions, that is interesting. I thought that was like a really big part of laning well. I don't know if I like this or hate it. It's gonna make the game a bit easier in lane for sure. Soul Orb lifetime in the air reduced significantly. Okay, so I'm gonna assume they spawn and move faster and then also disappear faster. Soul Orb deny changes from 65-35 to 50-50. Okay, so now we only have to worry about denies, basically, right? The orbs are gonna pop no matter what, but it's your job as a player to deny them or secure them, and if you don't deny them, the enemy gets 50% of that creep. So I guess there is still that skill ceiling. It's kind of an interesting change. It makes it so you only have to worry about one thing instead of 2, right? Killing the creeper and then killing the soul. But it makes last hitting and denying way more important, which is actually something I quite like, you know? Kind of more like it was in Dota, or is in Dota. Soul orbs, physical radius increased by 10%, so it's bigger. Reduce horizontal movement of soul orbs from troopers. Okay, horizontal. Sideways. Okay, interesting. Gaining souls from kills now shows a visual effect of souls flying towards you. Sprint. Default sprint speed increased from 0.5 to 1.0. Sprint disable duration reduced from 5 to 4 when dealing taking damage with heroes. Sprint disable duration reduced from 5 to 0.5 when dealing taking damage with non-heroes. I have talked about this before and this is an amazing change. Sprint has been absolutely useless because if you were an active player and you would like deal damage to creeps, right, or take damage from creeps, Sprint would basically never be active because it always took 5 seconds until it got active. So this is a really, really good change which makes sprint items more valuable. You know, sprint boots come to mind, for example, because right now people would just run extra stamina over and over. So we'll keep that in mind. By the way, later down on the line in this video or in the next one, we'll go over all the item changes and we'll cook up builds. Obviously, this is going to change the game drastically, but let's continue. We're kind of stalling here. Sinner's Sacrifice. Sinner's Sacrifice no longer grants a random gold statue buff. Interesting. Sinner's Sacrifice was already the highest souls per minute in the game, by the way, unless you were like 7 and you were speed farming at tier 3 camp. They were already really high, so it makes sense that it got nerfed a bit. Sinner's Sacrifice now has a looping time window where if you kill it with a heavy melee, their visual and audio cues, you will receive 3 gold statue buffs. Alternatively, a last hit with the light melee will only give you 1 gold statue buff. Okay, so it's more of a mini game and you have to pay more attention. I like that because until now, Sinner's Sacrifice was like AFKing, looking at the side of the screen, you know, for 5 minutes and shooting it. Good changes so far. Game feel and optimizations, added support for blah blah blah. I don't think this is like super important. There's like bug fixes, improved various. We'll see this once it's in game. Gameplay changes. Increased post-laning trooper bounty to match the previous 4-lane global economy. Okay. So what does that mean? Changed flex slot requirement. 1 flex slot, changed from 3 guardians down to 2 guardians. Makes sense, there's only 3 guardians in total now, right? So killing 2 is going to give you a flex slot. Second flex slot changed from 2 walkers down to 1, and the last 2 flex slots are unchanged. Okay, so you still have to kill all walkers, all 3 now, for the 3rd flex slot, and then the shrine, one of the shrines for the last flex slot. Post-laning trooper bounty to match the previous 4-lane global economy. It's going to be interesting to see money-wise. Small neutral camps respawn time reduced from 4 to 3 minutes. Mid-neutral camp respawn time reduced from 6 to 5 minutes. And neutral soul values reduced by 10%. Overall camp count and frequency has been increased. So this makes sense. There's 6 players on the map and there's less lanes, right? So jungling is going to become more important. So I like that they're increasing the frequency of spawn rates for jungle camps, and I think they added some on the new map. So this makes sense. Sidewalker HP increased from 5,170 to 7,000 and mid-walker HP increased from 8,000 to 9,000. Okay, also makes sense, right? The sidewalkers were too easy to kill. The less walkers we have, the more we need to make them tanky. So this is good. Mid-boss HP and HP growth increased by 30%. Also a good change, it was too easy to kill mid-boss at any time. I kind of wish they would also increase the damage the mid-boss does to your team, because it really doesn't do anything, right, if you have lifesteal. Outer zipline speed increased by 15%. I'm assuming that's because the lanes are longer, because there's only 3. Breakable soul values reduced by 5%. All juke spots now have veils. The dead end closet with a mysterious man in front. Okay, that's gonna add a new level of like outplaying enemies in fights. Micro, I like that. Gun power up. Min max fire rate increased from 10, 30 to 15, 35%. Fixed gun power up, no, not scaling with ammo to 60% as intended. Okay. So gun buff. That's it, yeah. Added a new mid-boss rejuvenator symbol with 3 visual states. Not spawned, under 1 minute from spawn, and spawned. Okay, I like this. So you can see, like, basically you get a 1 minute heads up on when the mid-boss is gonna spawn. People in pro games already typed out the time, because it would, like, you know, when you killed the mid-boss, there was a specific time until the next mid-boss spawned. This is gonna make it a bit easier to get into, so I don't mind this. The new large amount of breakables in the mid-boss area now initially spawns at the same time as mid-boss. Okay, interesting. We're gonna have to see how that looks like on the map. Holiday. This is actually so funny. So, not a lot of balance changes, but holiday nerfs, and that's about it. Holiday bounce pad damage reduced from 1,120 to 90. Holiday bounce pad tier 3 stun duration reduced. Holiday spirit lasso damage reduced. Okay. Superior stamina no longer gives 7% fire rate. Makes sense. It was just as broken as extra stamina. So good changes overall. Keep in mind, these are not big balance changes, but you might think that you might be disappointed in this, but you have to understand the game is gonna be completely different now, right? There's gonna be less split pushing. So characters like Wraith or McGinnis are gonna be weaker inherently because there's less split pushing to do. There's gonna be more jungle camps, so characters that are really good at farming jungle, like Infernus for example, might see a gain in popularity. And then there's gonna be more team fights, I would assume, because there's only 3 lanes, so it's gonna end up with more people on a single lane a lot of the time, where there's more team fighting happening. So I'm glad they're not like making insane balance changes, because A, the balance I think was pretty good before this, but B, we'll have to play this out, and I'm sure this game is gonna change drastically in like the next week or 2, where people are trying to figure out what's actually good. Like I'm willing to predict, even without balance changes, we'll see some heroes like increase in popularity by an insane amount, and some heroes get a lot weaker. Damage report. Now visualizes the amount of damage reduced by resistances or shields. Incoming damage now. Okay, so quality of life updates for the damage thing you get after dying, you know, like how much. That's good. High quality. Quick buy added the ability to right click on the header of a build category to add all items in the category to your quick buy queue. That's good. Quality of life change. Quick buy's default behavior is going back to showing purchase prompts when the item is actually purchased. A setting option, blah 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 blah. Okay, good. Quality of life changes. Build and shop. Fix the bug where purchasing an item would clear the item search box in the shop. Fix theme. Profanity filter, not constantly. Okay, interesting. General changes. Ziplines are now curved. If a player abandons a match before the 5-minute mark, the game will now bring up a green HUD message. The game will not be scored. That's good. If you abandon early, it did feel shit when someone abandoned early and you would lose because of it. If the abandonment occurs after 5 minutes, the HUD message will be, this match can be abandoned without a penalty, but leaving will result in a loss. Okay. Disjoint now break hook tracking. Uppercut now only locks out player movement until... So there are some changes that you could consider balance changes. Interesting, but like it doesn't seem like they think it's big enough to mention in the balance change update. Really, really big quality of life improvements, but like, let's be honest, we're more excited about the map. Some hero lab changes, we'll go over that later. Okay, and then these are just VFX. It's just polishing of the game, getting closer to like a less alpha feeling. Bug fixes. All right. That's about it. Let's get into the game and check out the map. This is genuinely the first time I've seen it. I've heard people talk about it. There were some leaks. I'm so excited, bro. I'm so excited. This better look sick.
Mid-boss.
Alright. It gave me Infernus because... This is so weird. Okay. What? This map looks crazy. I see 4 saves on each side of the map. Okay, let's spoil mid. I want to see what happened to mid boss. I want to see what happened in general. Okay, so... this is crazy. It's just a new map. Okay. So, this is the new middle lane. Insanely wide open first impressions. Lots of space to play around. Really cool update. And there's zip lines on both sides. Ooh, excuse me, sorry. And so the mid boss is now underground and it already spawned. Oh, that's... I did not think... Well, obviously mid boss usually spawns at 10 minutes. So this is crazy. Where are we? So there's veils on the sides. And there's multiple pathways up and down. Oh, this is gonna take ages to learn. So, where am I? So now we're back on the... So there's a zipline. Oh, there's even like little markings to the Rejuvenator. This is really cute. Okay, so... And then there's like... Yeah, there's like multiple underground ways to mid-boss. There's a really cool solution to the... Ooh, you can slide in and dunk on them. This is gonna make for some sick rollouts here. I can already tell you. Okay. And then we have jungle camps, saves. Let's see the new saves. Okay, so I can't see the HP bar. What's happening? Okay, I don't know what happened. I probably fucked that up. I'll have to figure that out. Okay. Medium camp. All of that, like, very close to mid lane, by the way. What do we have here? This is going down to the Rejuvenator. Weird place for, like, instantly, like, next to your lane. I guess it makes for juke spots. I really want to figure out, okay, this building is somewhat similar here. So how does this work? Do I have to, like, hit them on the red? I think I'm fucking it up, and also the creeps are killing me. Stop, creeps. Stop. Okay, well, I'll have to figure out how that works. I want the hero upgrades. Wait, the secret shop is down here? Where are we? Oh, so there's like a... There's still like... Oh my god. So there's still like side lane... Like, obviously the distance from mid lane to side lanes is very long, right? So if you want to gank, this is going to be really interesting for ganking. Like, let's say you are in middle, right? And you want to like help out your friends on the green lane. There doesn't really seem to be a good zipline rollout, by the way. Like, I can't, like, you know, there's nothing, I can't jump. Let's say I want to go to yellow. It seems faster to yellow. So like, go over here. Okay, and then this area looks somewhat familiar, like the old jungle camp area, but just bigger. Yeah, this is a long walk, by the way, to the left lane. So ganking is gonna become a lot more expensive in terms of time investment. And a complete redesign of the side lanes too. More cover. I've been asking for this. Yo, this is sick. What the fuck? So I've been asking for this for a while, because on the one side you always have these barrels, right? This map feels like a lot more full and almost finished. This is like... I'm playing on low graphics, but this looks very, very beautiful. Okay, at least the side tier 3 camps are still the same. And the sidelines look kind of similar than before, right? There's still the church. And there's probably still like... Let me guess, is there still a high ground? Yeah, there's still this camp. But this feels a bit more familiar. I'm gonna be a side lane player for now, I think. Mid lane is gonna be horrible. And then, yeah, so this area, kind of similar. But then we have this entire new area. And I wonder what this is. Is this the new bridge buff location? Because there's nothing here, and this looks like that bridge buff location. I can't check it right now. How do you even... Okay, so there's a zip up here.
Spirit urn is waiting to be claimed.
And I would assume that this is gonna be the new bridge buff spawn location, so you have to invest a bit more time to get there. And notice how far it still is. Like, this map is insanely... Like, it feels bigger because there's only 3 lanes. Yeah, this is cool. Holy. I want to give these punching machines one more try. Someone in the comments probably already figured this out and is gonna make fun of me. How the hell do these work? How do I get the buffs? Lead and succeed. I mean, they look the same. I cannot for the life of me. Do I have to hit the red? This seems impossible. Okay, I give up. Maybe it's not working because it's like a exploratory version, because I'm also not getting any souls. But yeah, a lot more jungle farm. And yeah, there's more tier 3 camps, by the way. So apparently there's a tier 3 camp here is this a new tier 3 camp? Oh, so this is like one of those like middle tier 3 camps that they moved to here. So interesting choice. I'm gonna assume this is still like the normal tier 2 camp. Yep, looks about the same. Interesting. And then, yeah, more camps, more boxes. Junglers are gonna love this. The AFK Andes are gonna love this. Middle lane looks sick. Okay, so I'm gonna get on and play this right now. This is gonna be... Cannot cheese the Guardian. I was gonna use this cover to shoot him. New sounds, by the way. Okay. Yeah, that's my first impressions. I think... Is this gonna bring Deadlock back? Am I overhyping this? I think this is a really good step in the right direction from first impressions. Because I think it's gonna streamline the experience. It's gonna make the game a bit less complicated. Gonna get new players in. I'm mega excited. Let me know what you think in the comments. And yeah, I'm sure I'll make another video like by today, or like, you know, by tomorrow at the latest, where I go over balance changes. But again, balance changes simply based on which characters feel good on this map type, and I have to play for that, you know, and I'm not gonna lie to you, like, we'll have to figure it out. So yeah, really cool. Let me know what you think in the comments. Until next time, see you friends, bye bye.